Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you all for taking some time out of your busy schedule to join us here this evening to discuss a very important topic. Parenting belongs to parents and not the system. This evening, the CEO of Thompson Teens and members will discuss with you this very important topic. And I hope that you take away something from this meeting today. I will ask Shirley Foster Brown to just open with a word of prayer. Shirley? Thank you, Jennifer.
Now our heads in prayer. We come to you, Father Jehovah, to ask you to guide us and our footsteps and our words carefully. So everything that we share with our guests today can hopefully be helpful to everyone. We hope that you guide our words carefully, that we can open everyone's heart to share our words with them, that they can be guided carefully to get the wisdom and to...
Let's do it.
Yes, and understanding what we're trying to say to them, that they can be guided more often to help their children to walk carefully on this earth. Thank you very much. Through your Son, Jesus Christ, the living King. Amen.
Amen. Thank you so much, Shirley, for those words of wisdom. I will now call on Malachi Foster to give us a welcome. I will now turn over the mic to the MC, Sandra Foster Thomas.
Good evening again, everyone. Continuing with our program on the topic, parenting belongs to parents and not to the system. We're going to hear now the solution from Ms. Shirley Brown Foster. Ms. Brown.
Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for coming out and discussing this very important topic. Thank you, Ms. Trim, and thank you, Ms. Haywood, Ms. Janice Haywood, for sharing that information with us. Any parent listening to the information that was just shared would, of course, be extremely concerned. Being a parent myself, I know it's a very difficult job. Any parent in this day and time would be challenged with all the things we have to do being a parent. It takes quite a bit of time and quite a bit of energy to be an effective parent in this day and time. Years ago, being parents, we had neighbors and friends and extended family that always helped out parenting. Today, in this day and age, in the 20th century, you don't. You don't have that community that we had years ago. You're basically on your own. If it's a two-family parent, mother and father, or if it's a one-family parent, it's a struggle. And with all the technology that we have today, children are always challenged with different things that makes them stray away from what they have been taught, if at all been taught anything. Parents' responsibility is a heavy burden. Teaching our children moral fabrics of life, as it were. Being kind to one another, being considerate, being faithful, being loyal, being genuine. Many children do not have those qualities in their lives today. Having a basic religion, a basic understanding of God, basic understanding of what it is to be genuine, as I mentioned before. Relationships with parents and their children. Sometimes it's strained because parents don't spend a lot of time with their children. They're out there trying to work jobs to try to get material things, to buy sneakers for their children, instead of developing a relationship with their children. Oftentimes, parents find it difficult to sit down and have a simple conversation with their children because children don't like to talk to their parents. They deem it as being corny, having a close relationship with their parents. And it's difficult for a parent to come home sometimes to try to sit down and develop a relationship with their children, to have a simple conversation with them. And sometimes we have to humble ourselves and try to really sit down and develop a relationship with our children because it's very important. You won't know what's going on with your child's life if you don't humble yourself and try to sit down and talk with them and find out what's going on. Children are exposed to so many different things from a very early age. Up until, the beginning of grade school, kindergarten, they're exposed to very different things. You see in the news today, children are bringing weapons to school, guns, knives, various different things. And there's also things of sexual nature that's going on early on in school that your children are exposed to, that you need to sit down and have a conversation with them about so that your child is not led astray. And your child should also feel very comfortable with you, speaking with you on any topic at all. You may even sometimes feel uncomfortable about it. I know for myself, my children are grown now, but when they were younger, to try to talk to them about sex was, for me, it was uncomfortable. For them, they felt very comfortable about it because I was always open with them, but I really didn't know how to approach them about it. But it's something that we need to talk to our children about, to develop a wholesome atmosphere with our children. Because this world is a wicked world. People will do things to you, to your child, and they won't even know what's going on with them. They will mislead them, they will guide them into something that before they know it, they're in trouble and won't know what happened to them. So we really need to be vigilant with our children to try to develop a relationship with them because we are parents. Everything that happened to us years ago could be happening to them now, but happening in a different way. We might want to say, oh, I've been there before, but it's a totally different society now and things are happening in a different way. It is our responsibility as parents to really take a vigilant way to build a relationship with our children. Also, I was saying to Janice earlier, in terms of school, many parents are not involved in their children's education, which is extremely important, particularly in middle school. When your child's about to go to high school, many times people feel, oh, they're in junior high school, they can handle it themselves. You don't know what's going on in your child's education. They don't come to PTA meetings, and they don't go to anything. They just figure the child's already at the stage where they should know or be able to handle whatever's going on in the school system for themselves. You need to be in your child's life at every venture of your child's life to see what's happening, to guide them, to be a part of what's going on in their lives. I look at my children as a precious stone. If someone gives you a diamond, you don't take the diamond and toss it aside. You hold that diamond in high esteem. You hold that diamond, you blow on it and shine it, you be prancing it around and showing it to everyone. That's the same way you should treat your child. Your child is something that's precious to you, that you're going to make sure that's always taken care of. I feel this is the way you should treat your child, to make sure it's not damaged, to make sure it's guided properly, to make sure it gets what it needs as far as education, health-wise, simple things like taking your child to the dentist. Some of us don't do that. Taking your child to the doctor. If Mr. Obama, who is the President of the United States of America, can make sure that he has certain time with his children, he has a relationship with his children, I'm quite sure the average Joe can do that. Spend 10, 15 minutes with your children to say, I have sat down and had dinner with my children, had a friend with my child, spent a couple of hours with my child on a weekend, just to have simple conversation. It doesn't have to be you taking them out to a fancy restaurant or buying $500 sneakers. Just spend some time with your children to know what's going on in their lives. And try to set an example for your children. When I say set an example, don't lie. in front of your children. If you must lie, don't do it in front of your children, because you're setting a poor example. Children live by example. And we may not think that, but years from now, if you do something, your child will remember it, and they will bring it to your attention. Do you remember you did so-and-so such and such a time? You may not remember, but they will. They will bring it back to your attention. You need to be vigilant about what you do in front of your children. You need to set an example at all times. It is not easy being a parent. So when you decide, young people who are not parents yet, when you decide that you want to be a parent, you really need to take time and consider what type of parent will you be. Because a lot of work goes into being a parent. It's not a job that you quit at 5 o'clock. It's a job that when you, from the time of conception until you meet your untimely demise, you are a parent. It doesn't stop at 18. It continues forever. Parenting is not an easy job. No one said it would be. It is something that is a very, very important thing. Teaching our children to be respectful. It's a lot involved in being a parent. And being an effective parent is not an easy thing either. So it's something that we really have to take seriously. It's a very difficult job, but everything we do in parenting has to be, not necessarily, well, it has to be thought out, really. Parenting is not a simplistic job. So parents, we have to be vigilant in what we do. We have to be, everything we do in parenting has to be thought out. We have to be conscious about what we do in front of our children and with our children. Because our children do, especially when they're younger, they do remember what we do. Like, take the phone, tell them I'm not here. You remember that lie you told Mom? My mother would say, tell them you don't see me and turn your back so that you're not lying. So we have to be conscious of what we're doing because our children see things, they remember things, and they will emulate what they see. Parents, try to set an example for your children. Try to be there for them to the best of your ability. So when anything happens, you can say, I did my best. However your child turns out. Thank you for listening. Have a great day.
Welcome again. We're back to our program for the tots and teens. That the topic, parenting, belongs to parent and not to the system. I'm now going to call on Mr. Kingsland Felix, in representation of the XGDF Association of New York. Mr. Felix?
Thank you, Madam Chair. My presentation will be very short, but what I would like to say is that what parent hasn't wondered at some time, are those really my kids? Now comes a combination of state, federal, and international organizations to tell fathers and mothers that no, not entirely. Parental rights organizations President Michael Farris, who is the co-founder and general counsel of Homeschool Rights Organization, Legal Defense Fund, contends that America needs a wake-up call to action against governmental control of their children before it's too late. The vast majority of parents and adults in general think that the normal traditional rules of parents' rights are still in place, that parents can make decisions for their children in areas of education, upbringing, medical care, etc. In fact, parental rights were so well established at the time that the U.S. Constitution was launched that the founders did not recognize parental rights in the Constitution. In fact, if we're going to protect parental rights once and for all, we've got to put it in the text of the Constitution itself. The Parental Rights Amendment is an effort to put the traditional legal standards of parents who can make decisions for their kids in the actual text of the Constitution. For the first time in American history, and quoting Justice Wagner of the Supreme Court. The majority of the Supreme Court no longer treats a parent's right to control and direct upbringing of their child as a fundamental liberty. And this was said by former District Court Judge William Wagner. We now have a situation where government itself becomes a standard, and whoever is in power gets to say what liberty is. There are people each and every day who are scheming to take away parental rights, to start to destroy the family structure. What we've seen over the last 40 to 50 years is continual legislative and judicial overreach, going into areas that we never thought they would reach into. This is seen as the government's intrusion into the family's boundaries. The government has a role, but it's not a role of the partner, it is a role of the backstop, Paris said. If you abuse your kids, if you neglect your kids, and they have evidence of that, the government moves in, and they should move in under those circumstances. But when they treat all of us as if we're child abusers, that's absolutely outrageous, and we cannot stand for it. This overstepping of the state's role can be traced to oppressive European regimes of the not-so-distant past. And this is my contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Felix, for those powerful words.
Go ahead.
I'm doing the closing and then the round table.
Yeah, let's do the closing. Yeah. Thank you for y'all showing up.
Why are you closing it now?
This is on tape. You editing, right? Let me do what I do.
Remember?
Cause we editing. You editing this. You want the show. She gonna put the closing. We do the round table. If they kick us out, we got it.
Okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead. Do the closing, and then we do the round table, and then if Matthew comes, we're gonna try to get him to say a few words, and then we out.
Okay.
But we running out of time. All right. Go ahead.
Continue with our program, and due to the time restraint, I will do the closing remarks. And in closing, I'm going to thank each and every one of you for being here. I want to thank you for those words that you presented. It was well thought out and well accepted. Most of us have kids, and our kids are supposed to be our kids, but due to friends, sometimes family, they happen to become other people's kids, like the government, the state. And we're here today to make sure that at least it starts somewhere where we are trying to take back our kids from the state, from their friends who lead them astray, and from any other ill elements. So, again, we come to the conclusion that we're here to take back our kids. We should treat them and bring them up in the way we want them. Again, thank you guys for coming, and have a great evening. Thank you.
Now we have Timothy. This is the evening of faith. This is something that is very today's trend and very elegant. She has the fishtail. She has the long, hazy hair. You can certainly dress this up. You can certainly dress it down. is working it. Very tailored back. This is 14-year-old friendly look. We got, and her birthday is today. You working that outfit, girl. You work it. You got the gold cut. I think it's very elegant. And she certainly knows how to move. These were all made and designed by China Doll. I love the sleeve. It is very today's fashion. And she is working this outfit. She is showing off. It has nice buttons to the side. Wow. It was made from a Chinese bouquet. Thank you so much. Now we have the queen of the bride, Miss April. She's working to have a very high split. She has a very high top, and the sleeve is very elegant. She is long clothing, and she is wearing this outfit very elegantly. This outfit can be dressed up, and you can even dress it down. You can even, I can see myself getting married in this. Beautiful summer. This is gorgeous for a summer wedding. Perfect, elegant. The back outside is a nice tie to the neck. Beautiful. And she has the body to work this outfit. Thank you so much. This is Shanice. We have Shanice. This is their final appearance. They're showing off their beautiful outfits. This is China, the face of China Doll. Beautiful, absolute elegancy. I love it. Gorgeous. Let's see your best pose here. Absolutely. Gorgeous. Yes, thank you so much, China Doll. We appreciate it. Beautiful. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much.
First up, we have a very beautiful gold mermaid tail dress with long train back. It's embroidered with gold flowers along the top and a low cut in the back with draping as well. Very beautiful dress. Quite a rest of clap, guys. Give her a round of applause. Our next model coming down with a beautiful white satin dress with once again a long train and a beautiful V-heart top with spaghetti strap and a low cut back. It's a long dress, spaghetti strap once again, and it's a wonderful beige and gold. With high split on the side. Beautiful voices, please. Thin strap. And very detailed with gold shimmer giving the flower glory. Right here we have a great stripe, long train in the back, black and white, stacked with black embroidery on the front. Very beautiful, very elegant. Well detailed with the black shimmering as well as the black embroidery on the front.
Turn around and go back to daddy. Go back to daddy. Walk to daddy. Walk. Turn around. Smile. Smile and walk. Smile and walk. Come this way. Come to mommy. Smile and walk. Smile. Smile. Come, baby. Come on. Looking good.